This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, a Sarasota County man is sentenced to accessory after the fact in the murder of a man last March. James Kane will now serve 34.5 months in county jail. This includes the 5 months he's already served after being found guilty of lying and trying to cover up his son's actions. Back in March, investigators say his son, Robert Kane, shot and killed his sister's ex-boyfriend, Jason Head. James Kane then lied to law enforcement that his son was acting in self-defense. Surveillance video obtained by law enforcement shows the Kanes were lying and that the victim's body was tampered with and a gun placed in his hand. Kane was sentenced to just more than 3 years since he agreed to a plea deal and will testify now against his son at his trial in April. We'll have more in the story coming up in our next half hour. Manatee County Sheriff's investigators still searching for the person behind a deadly weekend shooting. This all happened early Sunday morning outside a home on 11th Street East. Deputies found Ernestine Gardner lying in the front yard. She later died at Blake Medical Center. Witnesses say they overheard an argument before the shooting, but no arrests have been made yet. Deputies also say drugs were found at the scene. Anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers in Manatee County. That number, 866-634. Tips. The mother of a baby found dead in a shallow Northport grave dies behind bars. Kristen Burry found unconscious in her cell at the county jail just after midnight Saturday morning. Jail staff started life-saving measures. She was then taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. Sheriff's investigators and the medical examiner's office have both opened investigations into her death, and early indications show she took her own life. Burry was sentenced, serving a 25-year sentence for her role in the murder of her 9-week-old son, Chance Walsh. Burry had signed a plea deal to testify against the baby's father, Joseph Walsh, at his murder trial coming up in November. Sarasota County continues to assess the damage caused by Hurricane Hermine. Environmental staff say Siesta Key saw the most damage with significant dune and beach erosion from the heavy rainfall and flooding. They reported 5 to 10 feet of dune erosion, as well as loss in vegetation and erosion along Turtle Beach. Lido Key also saw some erosion with recent storm surges, but officials say the sand has remained there. Other local beaches made it through with minimal long-term damage. County officials estimate Hurricane Hermine caused up to $691,000 in wind or water damage to 31 properties across the county. Get a check on our weather. Thankfully, that storm is a memory for us now, and John Scalzi is here with more what may be lying ahead for us this season, huh?
A memory and now an additional cost.
That's true.
Apparently, you know, it's tough to keep that sand on the beaches when you're battling Mother Nature like that, you know, really hard. We have a new storm. We just, of course, over the weekend passed the halfway mark in the hurricane season, meaning there's still half a season left and half the number of storms still to come.
Seems like we should be beyond halfway.
I know.
Been busy. You know?
Yeah, it has been a busy season, and we still have another peak that affects Florida and the Gulf of Mexico more than other parts of the United States historically to come. So we'll see how it all plays out. A new tropical storm out in the Atlantic right now. We'll talk about that in just a minute or two. Badways, a webcam shows a pretty nice start to the day. Actually, we had a fair amount of sunshine around and a few building fair weather clouds. We have a little bit of a wave of energy that's going to move across the state over the next day or so, and that's going to bring us enhanced rainfall chances. Fair amount of cloud cover out there currently. We have some showers in progress across the Atlantic Basin and also in the Gulf waters as well. That's all part of a system that's approaching. You can see it now over the Bahama Island chain, heading our way, promising us excellent chances of rainfall compared to what we had 24 hours ago. Daytime high temperatures should probably be held down just a little bit as well because of the extra cloud cover and shower activity. We'll go with about a 60% chance of rain a little bit later on today. Even better rain chances tomorrow. Talk about that in a few minutes, Scott.
Okay, John, thank you. The growth in Sarasota County will be a topic of debate tonight at a local restaurant. A panel discussion will be held at Square One Restaurant on University Parkway beginning at 6:45 tonight to go over the economic development and urban growth of the county. The panelists will include the director of the Film Commission for Sarasota County, an assistant professor of design and urban planning, a candidate for the City Commission, and the president of Control Growth Now. That discussion is free and open to the public. In Manatee County, a job fair will be held this afternoon to fill open positions at several companies and local agencies. About 30 employers will be there hoping to hire new workers. Last year's hiring fair brought in 400 job seekers, and 40% of them were interviewed. The job fair happens from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Downtown Central Library in Bradenton. Job seekers should bring a copy of their resume on a USB drive and dress in professional attire. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now. And Richard, on Friday we saw the Dow Jones drop nearly 400 points. How are we starting out the new week?
Well, Scott, it certainly didn't look very good early this morning. Before the market opened, the futures were sharply lower, and when the market finally did open, we were down 90 points in the first 5 minutes. See, over the weekend and earlier this morning, markets in Europe were down lower. And what is it all about? It's all about concern for the Fed and will they raise interest rates? Believe it or not, that meeting is not until Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we're going to have to wait a while to see about it. But we did see a very sharp turnaround this morning from minus 90 to plus 60 plus at the high of the day so far. Let's take a look at the figures, and they certainly do look pretty darn good. There you see the Dow up 51 points, more than 1/4% at 18,136.50 on volume of 417 million shares. The NASDAQ, the big winner for the day, up 0.75%, almost 39 points at 5,163.09. That on volume of 741 million shares. The S&P, a clean sweep for the up arrows. There you see up more than 0.4%, more than 9 points at 2,137.11. Well, it may be only the 12th of September, and it may still be 90 degrees outside, but people in the restaurant business are looking at fall. And perhaps an odd person to be looking at that would be Olive Garden. Why? Because Olive Garden today announced it is offering a new dessert for the fall season, and it is called Pumpkin Spice Cheesecake. Yes, Pumpkin Spice Cheesecake. Now, Olive Garden is part of the Darden Group based in Orlando. They own things like Longhorn Steakhouse, Capitol Grill, and Seasons 52, so they're not exactly newcomers to the restaurant business. But, Scott, it's about 12 years ago when a small company by the name of Starbucks basically invented something called pumpkin spice. Nobody really had heard of it before, and as a result, it's become incredibly popular. And now even the Olive Garden, with its Italian spin, is offering pumpkin spice cheesecake. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
Yeah, this time of year we're seeing pumpkin everywhere, aren't we?
Exactly right.
We'll see you again at 5 o'clock with the closing numbers.
I'll be here, and hopefully with 3 more up arrows. How's that?
Sounds great. Richard, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
A multi-million-dollar milestone reshapes the campus of a Sarasota school. This morning, St. Martha's Catholic School holding the official opening and ribbon cutting of its new student center. The Zazarino Center includes new bleachers and a community room slated to be open to the public. Students from each grade also took turns filling 2 time capsules as part of the ceremony. They packed in thumb drives, pictures, and pom-poms to memorialize the moment. Bishop Frank DeWayne of the Venice Diocese says the Zazarino Center is a true resource for the Sarasota-Manatee region.
And I think we see the children that come out from our schools, they're leaders in the community. So yes, this is it forms leaders, they contribute, but also it's here as a facility for a community.
The girls volleyball team will be the first to use that beautiful new gymnasium tomorrow during its game against St. Charles. Time now to head over to the kitchen and check in with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher and see what's for lunch today. Judy?
Boy, sweet corn was so good this season. And as we're starting to come back into that season where we switch over to pumpkin in a few months, this is the time that you can really enhance your kitchen and make things like sweet corn chowder. Also, what's really been trending this year since the spring is sweet corn pasta. So I've decided to make that for you today and make it really simple, but with some really good ingredients. I picked up already pre-bacon wrapped scallops that come 3 to an order. That's going to be the meat, the protein of the dish. It's going to be because corn and bacon and scallops just go together brilliantly for like a chowder. So of course they're going to go together for pasta. So I've husked the corn, I've cut it off the cob. I could just toss it in pasta and not need to cook it at all. It's that sweet and delicious. We're gonna barely flash it in the pan with a little dribble from the grease from the bacon, since I cooked off the little scallop kebabs. And marry it together with some asparagus. So stay with me throughout the hour. I think you're gonna really like this pasta dish, and it will be a send-off, we hope sooner rather than later, to the summer weather.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Dylan Radigan. The world is brimming with possibilities. And that keeps me busy. My latest invention may be able to feed and sustain communities around the world. My team and I are always on the go, meeting new people and seeing new places. I produce films that I really care about. It's an honor to speak to audiences around the world. When people come together, meaningful work gets done. How do I do all this? Well, that part's easy. Hotelplanner.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Welcome to the all-new Seymour Buick GMC on the island of Venice.
Seymour smiles.
Seymour quality selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
Seymour for your trade.
Seymour Savings.
It's the Buick 2016 model year sale down. Now get 20% below MSRP on select Encore models in stock. That's nearly $5,000 below MSRP on the 2016 Buick Encore.
Seymour now at Seymour Buick GMC on the island of Venice. Go to SeymourBuickGMC.com.
Has chronic knee pain, arthritis, or osteoarthritis of the knee robbed you of your mobility? Would you like your pain-free life back again? Then call now. You may qualify for a new non-surgical, drug-free treatment for knee pain. Even if you've tried other treatments with little or no relief, you may still be a candidate for our Advanced Arthritis Relief Protocol. This emerging treatment is covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Suffer no longer. Call right now and get your mobility back.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we hit 95 degrees yesterday. I mean, my goodness, how hot is that? But we're going to be a little bit cooler today by a few degrees. We're at 89 right now. Got a little extra cloud cover around today. Dew points are going up, though, so it's going to feel kind of sticky out there today. I think we'll have even less sunshine tomorrow, a little bit more cloud cover around, so perhaps it won't feel quite as humid. 74 degrees, our current dew point value. We're looking at a southeast wind coming in at about 11. That little southerly component to that easterly wind is important in the forecast. At the surface, it's helping to bring moisture back across the Suncoast and will lead to, I think, a pretty sticky afternoon. 87 Wauchula, Arcadia, Parrish, 86 Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, Myakka, 87s in Northport, Punta Gorda, Venice, and 86 degrees in Inglewood. So across the region right now, this southeasterly wind flow bringing moisture back. It's more humid today than it was yesterday. We also have a little area of disturbed weather coming in out of the Bahamas. That's going to arrive here probably midday tomorrow. It'll be up around our area or somewhere abouts, close to. And that's going to really enhance our rainfall chances. So today will be wet because of the increase in moisture, and tomorrow will be wetter because of that little extra impulse coming across the state. In fact, we have several impulses that are working their way across. One right now is helping to bring us some showers a little bit later this afternoon. Right now we've got some showers in progress, but nothing has really kicked in yet. A general easterly wind being brisk will keep our sea breeze pretty close to the coastline again today. So I think it's basically going to be daytime heating and the little impulses that move through that's going to enhance our rainfall chances. You can see that one little wave that I'm talking about kind of advancing in this general direction. It'll make it here by, as I said, probably the southern tip of the state by late tonight, and then by tomorrow afternoon, the center part of the state. It's going to work its way right up the spine of the state, eventually bringing everyone more rain chances. So there are other tropical things to talk about. That's a pretty impressive cluster of clouds, wouldn't you say? Yep, that one has gained more structure and has become sufficiently evolved, tropically speaking, to become a new tropical storm. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Two double-barrel high-pressure ridges, the weakness between them allowing that wave to kind of come up this way, bringing all the moisture and increased chances of rainfall along with it. This computer model shows a little bit more development in the low circulation. Regardless, it will help enhance our rainfall chances for a time anyway. So I would say that the first half of the work week up through about Wednesday is going to be wetter than the second half of the work week because of these little impulses moving through. So rain's return, we'll say, compared to what we saw over the weekend. There were some scattered showers around over the weekend, but certainly it's going to be wetter over the next several days. These are all going to be west-moving storms for the most part, and then we'll look for a little bit drier weekend. Watch the RPM computer model. Showers come our way today. Get a little bit of a break during the overnight perhaps, and then more showers, some of them perhaps heavy, come our way on Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, actually, kind of lifting up from the south and heading north. Total rainfall accumulations, you know, over a 3-day period, I wouldn't be surprised to see some areas get 4-inch rainfalls, and certainly one of the computer models kind of points to that 3 to 4-inch range over the course of a couple of days. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. Okay, Ian, our new tropical storm, is important because it's part of this year's crop of storms, but the good news is it's forecast to lift to the north by Tuesday, Wednesday, start a little bit of a hook, and then Thursday race out into open waters of the Atlantic without bothering the United States. So those are the kind of storms I like. Redistribute the energy of the earth without bothering anyone. East wind coming in at about 10 knots today, and the official Suncoast forecast calls for that good chance of rain and then decreasing rain chances by the weekend. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In health news, the battle against the Zika virus is topping our headlines once again. More aerial spraying is set for today in Miami Beach. But residents are getting concerned about the chemical spray to fight these mosquitoes. The chemical being used is called Naled. It's designed to kill adult mosquitoes instantly in flight. But the chemical can also have potentially toxic effects on people and the environment. According to the CDC, the chemical has been banned in Europe since 2012. Other South Florida counties say they're using a less harmful insecticide, which is not so harmful to humans, pets, or aquatic habitats.
It's found naturally in the ground. It's an organic material, can be spread over an organic farm. It's been used in the Florida Keys for a number of years.
At least 56 people have been infected by mosquitoes in South Florida. Protesters have started an online petition to stop the aerial spraying. They're hoping to reach a goal of 10,000 signatures. Fall sports are now underway, and new research shows more kids are being sent to the emergency room with soccer injuries. In a study published in the journal Pediatrics, doctors found over the last 15 years, 3 million players have been between the ages of 7 and 17 went to the emergency room. 3 million. More than 200,000 concussions or head injuries were treated there. The rate of injuries from playing soccer has ranked second behind football for youth sports. Sprains and fractures were the most common injuries of all. For those who enjoy a few drinks throughout the week, there's a new reason to exercise regularly. New research shows doing the recommended amount of weekly exercise can cancel out the cancer risk brought on by drinking. It also lessened the risk of death resulting from any cause due to alcohol. Researchers looked at health data from 36,000 people over the age of 40, and they found those who exercised for 150 minutes a week eliminated the inflated risk of cancer. Those who only drank occasionally but worked out regularly also saw a reduced risk of death from cardiovascular disease. Up next, more NFL players are expected to raise a fist or take a knee during the national anthem. We'll have the latest on those protests, plus the newest pictures coming from Mars. What these images are teaching us about the red planet's landscape. Stay with us.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
Temperatures are rising, and the deals are hotter than ever during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep Ram, and Sarasota. Get the all-new Chrysler Pacifica for just $26,999 and get an additional $1,000 off with a trade-in. Hurry! Time is running out to get the new Dodge Journey for just $15,999. And right now, get up to $10,000 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Tonight, all eyes will once again be on Colin Kaepernick to see if he keeps up his protest refusing to stand during the national anthem. But now he seems to have more support from fellow NFL players. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the story.
In a show of solidarity from coast to coast, NFL players kneeling or raising a fist, and in one case, an entire team linking arms to support 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick and his protest against racism and police brutality.
That was my purpose of trying to raise awareness. We took a symbolic knee to say that we see and feel you. The people out there that are hurting.
On the Seattle Seahawks sideline, the players, coaches, and workers stood united, and in the stands, even some fans did the same during the national anthem.
And hopefully it's going to unify our country to where there's a message that needs to be heard. And so you heard us, now listen to us.
But joining the movement is coming at a cost for some players like Denver Bronco Brandon Marshall, the Air Academy Federal Credit Union dropping the linebacker, saying, while we respect Brandon's right of expression, his actions are not a representation of our organization and membership. Then there's this former player who is also a Green Beret, now saying he's had a change of heart after initially being angered by the quarterback's stance.
I thought what the Seahawks ended up doing was very powerful, not only because they were all together, they had coaches intermixed, and a lot of people in the stands were doing it too. That's what it's supposed to be all about, bringing us together.
And NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell also weighed in over the weekend, saying while he supports his players, he hopes that they will remain respectful. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Well, let's get back to the kitchen now and check in again with lunch with Chef Judy Gallagher. Judy?
So welcome back. In the first segment, I mentioned about getting some of the bacon drippings. I didn't get much off of that pan, so I just added just a teeny bit of butter, and that's just going to enhance that. So just a quick toss on this corn, and I'm going to save some that is not cooked. Look at all that juice, the corn milk, as we call it. So that's going to go right in the dish as well. It's going to bring out the sweetness of it. So we're just going to toast it to a quick pop, and then we're going to lay in some asparagus tips. There we go. Now I save the base of the asparagus because what I can do is I can roast that and that can go in a salad. I can chop it up or puree it so it can go in an asparagus soup. So we have that part going on. So now let's add just a little chicken stock. And then we're going to season it. Salt and pepper should just about do it. But here's where you can get creative. If you wanted to put in, if you like spice, some jalapenos, I think my hubby would probably love that. Go ahead and do that. I tend to just like things on the simpler side. So I'm going to stay with just these vegetables for right now. This is going to steam about 10 minutes tops because we just want to barely get the asparagus tender. I want a little crunch to the asparagus as well. So there we go. Now we're heating up that sauce. I do get the aroma from the bacon, so that's good. So we're at a really good part now. Now let's go ahead and add bow tie pasta, also known as farfalle pasta. So if it sounds real fancy, farfalle pasta is just bow tie pasta. And if you say bow tie pasta to kids, they tend to like it more. So there you go. So let's give this a toss. We'll re-season in a few minutes. Then when we come back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mince up some fresh basil. You know, you could even add mint to this dish. If you didn't want to do the scallops and bacon, this is perfect just the way it is. It's simple, it's wonderful. But we're going to bring it up another notch, add a teeny bit of cream to it, bring in a little Parmesan cheese and bring it all together. So stay with me. I'll be back in just a few minutes to finish up our dish today.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers, high rate and high pay, never leave you alone.
Debt is really sucking the life out of them. He's picking up the phone.
Oh, no, not Consolidated Credit.
With one call, they can lower their credit card rates.
And consolidate their bills into one low payment.
They'll pay off their debt in no time.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Because debt sucks.
Call 800-201-0230. That's 800-201-0230. Call now.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKZ for only $299 per month, or a 2016 Lincoln MKX, Lincoln's premium sports utility vehicle, for $339 per month. We also have a great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Drive with the confidence of a 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty and complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, family owned and operated, and winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits in the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. There were emotional testimony this morning in the murder case against a Sarasota County man. This morning, James Cain was sentenced to 34.5 months in the county jail, including the 5 he's already served, after being found guilty of lying and trying to cover up his son's actions. Last March, his son Robert Cain is accused of shooting and killing his sister's ex-boyfriend, James Head, in the road in front of the Cain's home. Initially, James Cain told investigators he shot the victim in self-defense, but surveillance video later obtained by law enforcement shows the Cain standing over the body, and that it was tampered with and a gun placed in the victim's hand. Testimony today included the victim's 15-year-old daughter. Those who attended say the sentencing was justified, but does not replace the loss of the family.
It's just sort of one more step closer in what all of us here are trying to achieve, and that is justice for Jason. You know, we want to show the community that the justice system is still rock solid, and that you can't go out and you can't murder people, and you can't cry to the police, you know, that you're the victim and make people look like monsters and think for a second that you're going to get away with that. You know, you are going to be held accountable by the law.
As part of James Cain's plea deal, he will testify against his son during his trial in April. We'll have more on this story coming up in our evening newscast. Now to the campaign trail, where Hillary Clinton cancels a fundraising trip to the West Coast today after being diagnosed with pneumonia. The Democratic nominee left the 9/11 ceremony early yesterday in New York after feeling ill. Meantime, Republican Donald Trump is back on the road. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest.
It's the stumble seen around the world. Today, Hillary Clinton's health is now center stage in the race for president, and this morning, rare restraint from her rival Donald Trump on Fox News.
I don't know what's going on. I'm like you. I see what I see. The coughing fit was a week ago. I just hope she gets well and gets back on the trail, and we'll be seeing her at the debate.
Clinton left the 9/11 memorial early in New York after she became ill. Video captured her nearly collapsing. Secret Service and aides grabbed Clinton, getting her into a waiting van. Her campaign waited more than an hour before saying Clinton was dehydrated and not feeling well. Then finally, the reveal. Clinton was diagnosed with pneumonia Friday. A campaign spokeswoman tweeted this morning they could have done better.
How are you feeling, Secretary?
2 hours after the so-called medical episode, a smiling Clinton emerged from her daughter Chelsea's apartment.
She's able to talk with people and greet. And that, to me, is consistent with the story that we're hearing, that she was dehydrated and got rehydrated.
The scare is renewing the push for both candidates to release more detailed health records. But Trump is trying to bring the attention back to comments Clinton made Friday night at a fundraiser.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist.
Now Trump is using Clinton's words to rally his supporters.
People like you, and you. Deplorable.
Clinton later says she regretted saying half of Trump's supporters are deplorable. Clinton was forced to cancel her swing through California today, but she's expected to call into a San Francisco fundraiser while she was recovering at home in New York. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
President Obama meeting with the top leaders in Congress today to talk about funding the government. The meeting comes as the deadline nears for a new spending bill to keep the government from shutting down. The White House is also working with lawmakers to reach a deal to fund the fight against the Zika virus. President Obama's priorities for a lame duck session of Congress may also be on the table. House Speaker Paul Ryan, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and their Democratic counterparts, Nancy Pelosi and Leader Harry Reid, will be meeting with the president sometime this afternoon. In Sarasota County, you can learn more about the proposed state constitutional amendments that you'll see on the ballot in November. CONA, or the Council of Neighborhood Action, is hosting a discussion about those amendments and changes to the solar co-op program. It'll happen tonight at the Sarasota Garden Club beginning at 7 p.m. It's free and open to the public. Florida Supreme Court will soon have a vacant seat. Supreme Court Justice James Perry is stepping down after reaching the mandatory retirement age. Florida law requires justices to retire once they turn 70. However, they can serve out their term if their birthday falls in the last 3 years of their 6-year term. Perry is 72 years old. He's the 4th black justice ever appointed to the court. He'll leave his post at the end of this year. Little by little, more light continues to be shed on missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Several new pieces of debris have been found. Those pieces were found in Madagascar and appear to show burn marks. Experts will have to examine those pieces to determine where they came from and what happened to them. Up to 20 possible personal items were found on Madagascar Beach back in June. The flight went missing back in March of 2014 and had 239 people on board. New pictures of Mars reveal a new perspective of the red planet. NASA's Curiosity rover snapping these images last Thursday of some very cool looking rock formations. The area is near what's known as Mount Sharp, which formed billions of years ago. The formations are eroded sandstone originally deposited by winds. These images, just the beginning. NASA is planning to compile several large color images of this area in the very near future. It looks so Earth-like sometimes when I see these photos, don't they?
I have not seen those before.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
The clarity and detail in those photos is phenomenal. Yeah, it does. Perhaps similar processes at one time, you know, when it had an atmosphere, maybe, you know, the same sort of erosion took place. Who knows? Water erosion, maybe, you know, evidence of that going on there.
We're learning more and more, though.
It's cool. It is certainly cool. We have some cooler weather, you know. I'll take 2 or 3 degrees. I'll take 2 or 3 degrees anyway. We're looking at a little bit of cloud cover that started off the morning and a little bit of clear skies at times as well. Sunshine, fair weather clouds. Now we're kind of heading in the direction of some of those clouds building enough loft that maybe we'll see some rain showers before too terribly long. It's a more moist environment that we have here on the Suncoast. Yes, the cloud cover kind of keeping the temperature down a couple of degrees compared to yesterday's 95, I think, but still, the humidity increase may just offset that little decrease in daytime high temperatures. We'll look for excellent chances of rainfall compared to what we had over the weekend, coming in at about 60% today, and tomorrow and the day after, even better rain chances. We'll talk about why, what to expect for the weekend as well, coming up in just a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. The mosque attended by the gunman in the Orlando nightclub shooting set on fire early this morning. Deputies say surveillance video shows someone approaching the Islamic Center for Fort Pierce moments before a flash was seen. The fire is being investigated as a possible arson. Sheriff's deputies will be releasing the video and asking for the public's help in identifying that person. The mosque was attended by Omar Mateen, who opened fire at the Pulse nightclub in June, killing 49 people and injuring 53 others. He died in a shootout with police. In South Florida, a man is facing a lengthy prison sentence after pleading guilty in the theft of at least $4.8 million in gold bars. 46-year-old Adalberto Perez is set to be sentenced today in a Miami court. Last March, he and 2 others used a GPS device to track a gold-laden tractor trailer heading from Miami to Massachusetts. The men managed to steal 275 pounds of gold bars and some silver. Investigators say pepper spray was released by remote control to sicken the driver and a passenger in the robbery. Perez now faces up to 40 years in prison and $1.2 million in fines. A Florida teenager arrested earlier this year for practicing medicine without a license is in legal trouble again. Malachi Love Robinson facing charges in Virginia for identity theft and fraud after he tried to buy a luxury car. Investigators say Love Robinson claimed he came to Virginia to buy a car for himself and another for his godmother. They say the elderly woman did not know she'd been listed as a co-signer on the loan application for that car. He's now being held with no bond. Let's get back to the kitchen now, see how a delicious lunch is coming along with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Okay, look at this. I promised you it was going to be simple. Using up this delicious corn. I mean, this is our last hurrah, right? Other people, it's Labor Day. For us, we're going to get through September. I'm going to add, anywhere between 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of cream. Not that much, but I just want to bring in that flavor. Now, that corn milk kind of seeps into that. Thus, I mean, it almost feels like a corn chowder, doesn't it? So, but we have that asparagus, nice bright flavor in there. Toss in that cheese, and this is going to be ready, oh my gosh, in just a moment. I'm so excited about this, can you tell? So, look at this. Take your bowl. Let that cheese melt down just a second. So while that's melting, let's go ahead and let's tear up some basil. I've had a great year for basil. A lot of times in the summer, mine is toast and I got to go to raid John Scalzi's garden. But I have to say this year, it came in really well, and keeping it in the morning sun. So I have more than enough. So I've made some pesto and put it in ice cube trays. So we have that. So I just want to break the basil apart, and that'll go in right towards towards the end so it doesn't wilt. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's turn that stove off, and now let's start serving this. Like I said, this alone, just with the corn and the asparagus, phenomenal meal, right? Now, what I want to do next is get some of that cheese in the sauce. Not too much cheese though, okay? Because we have the scallops. I'm gonna take these skewers of scalloped wrapped bacon. Look at that. How easy is that, okay? So these cost about $4.99 over at the Fresh Market. Brilliant way to enhance a dish. And there we have it. So when I come back, a little taste, and I'll share where the recipe is gonna be posted.
My dad is my hero, and I wanted to give him a chance to live life and be happy. Granny Nanny's has been a huge help. It has contributed to the health and happiness of my dad, for sure.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Get ready, college football fans. When you buy a $5 or more Fantasy 5 ticket and enter your team's drawing, you could win great prizes like team merchandise, tickets to your team's games, and other bowl game experiences. You could even win a championship weekend prize pack in Tampa or $10,000 cash. Fantasy 5 from the Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, and when you're ready to sell, you'll get more money back. Come fall in love with the longest-lasting vehicle in its class, the Subaru Outback. Or lease a new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing right now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
Granny Nannies. We've been making house calls for over 25 years. When you need home health care services, there really is no place like home.
Grandma! A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Our tower cam's showing a little bit more cloud cover around today. You know, I think that's going to help hold down the daytime heating a few degrees. So in that regard, it'll be more comfortable. But the extra cloud cover aloft shows more moisture aloft. But also at the surface, we have a little bit more moisture around as well. So dew point values continue to rise, making it feel a little more sticky out there. I think we'll get some afternoon showers around, certainly with a dew point value of 74 in summer. You can't go wrong there. Southeast wind coming in at about 11. The southeast wind strong enough to keep the sea breeze close to the coast. But the feels-like temperatures across the entire state have gone up as well. So it certainly does. The humidity certainly does play a factor today in just how comfortable the air is going to feel. 96, look at there, feels-like temperature in Daytona Beach. Miami coming in at 98. Same thing in Sarasota, though. Tallahassee even coming in at 94, traditionally cooler spot across the peninsula. Titan radar showing the showers building now. The east wind kind of taking that sea breeze, bringing it right across the state. Our sea breeze kind of held close to the coastline. We're getting a few showers now trying to build here in Manatee County. And I think the stuff we see over here coming into Highlands County is going to be moving in this direction over the course of the next couple of hours. So we'll have some, I think, wet later part of the afternoon and into the evening hours as well. There's our little trough of low pressure. Has no chance of real development, but it will help to increase moisture across the state as well. Plus, it'll help to add to the lift of the atmosphere, increasing our rainfall chances. And then further out into the Atlantic, we have a newly named tropical system, Ian, out there. Again, that is not going to be a big bother to the United States, at least not mainland United States. Double barrel high pressure areas have been responsible for